Hi, I'm Stephanie J. Block.
And I'm Mary Lee Fairbanks.
Welcome to Season 3 of Stages Podcast,
where we continue to bring creation and connection to center stage. I love watching Stephanie's story when you guys do the movie trivia and the other thing. And I watch, I'm like, how the hell did she get Matrix out of that? What? Are you kidding me? I need to know where that all started. I think it's hilarious. How many does she get right? Because it seems like you get a lot of them right. And I have no idea how you're doing it.
I don't think it started with me, right? You guys did shenanigans for Sarah.
We did, but there was definitely an evolution, I think. And then I don't know when it happened. Once you came in, if it was right away or if it evolved over the first couple of performances, but
I think it was show 1, Kennedy, because I was so shocked, but I loved it. But I was like, oh, this is happening. This is happening right now. As soon as I hit the wings, I run off stage left, and there's a gaggle of, I don't know, 7 or 8 people that will either try to charades. In charades, on Broadway, it was musicals. Now on tour, it's movies.
Yeah.
Purely because we have run out of musicals. There are no musicals left. We were doing like things like shows that I'd never even heard of, and we were like, she's never gonna get that. Does she even know this music? Like none of us, we'd have Googled some obscure thing to desperately try. And so I think films are a new, fresh start for us.
Yeah. My percentage rate is pretty good.
It seems like it is
shockingly good.
I'm always shocked.
I'd say I was probably 90-95%. And now the movies I've been pretty good. The only one I've missed thus far is Babe. And Kennedy was on his all fours with tape on his nose, giving him a full, oinker. And I kept thinking, I was like, Charlotte's Web was my first guess. And then he brought his arms and started cradling an invisible, baby. And I was like, Baby Pig Nose? And then we had to go back on stage. And it was Babe.
I think I said to the camera, like, yep, she got it. Little Baby Pig Nose. That was the movie.
Kennedy made his Broadway debut as the universally beloved Milky White in Into the Woods after creating the role at City Center. As a quadruple threat, he is stealing the hearts of audiences and critics alike. In fact, here in Washington, D.C., Peter Marks of the Washington Post essentially has renamed the genre of our storytelling to a musical dairy tale. He won my heart by the many examples of backstage that he displayed his genuine care for people, his dedication to bringing Milky White to life, and his participation in the 10-second musical or movie charades that happen in the wings just for me, and I feel so special, at the end of the play. He is gentle and fierce. He is thoughtful and funny. He is so many beautiful things that you will learn throughout this next hour. He's also created some incredible content on TikTok that I want to speak to him about, because I know it's been around for a while, but this old mama knows nothing about the tickety talks and she wants to learn more. Please welcome to the podcast, Kennedy Kanagawa. Kennedy, can we have you to stage, please? Kennedy and Milky White to stage, please. Ohayo gozaimasu.
Oh, ohayo gozaimasu.
That was pretty good, Steph.
Arigatou gozaimashita, Mary Lee-san.
Arigato.
Yeah, that's pretty good too. Doitashimashite. Listeners, we're speaking Japanese. Kennedy is originally from and grew up in Tokyo, Japan.
I did, yes. I was born there and we lived there till I was 10.
Are there things that you still miss or traditions that you still keep?
Oh, yeah. Oh my gosh, I miss it all the time. When we were at the St. James on Broadway, having Delphi Borch in the show, who's also half Japanese, was so special because she is really also tied to the culture and the language, and we would practice our Japanese with each other. My father still lives over there, so I try to go visit as much as possible, which is not very often, just logistically. I tried to go back in March of 2020, and then that got...
Oh, well.
And then I tried to go back this summer, and then we transferred to Broadway, and then I was like, oh well, I'll go for Thanksgiving after the show closes, but then we got extended, and now we're on tour. So hopefully August 2023.
Okay,
So
okay.
you were 10 when you moved here to the States? You know, it's interesting because you have no accent at all. And usually someone needs to move here like before the age of 8 to have no accent at all. How'd you manage that?
Well, English is my first language. My mother
Oh,
is
okay.
American, and
Oh,
so
okay.
in the house we spoke English.
Oh,
So
I see.
yeah, I wish my Japanese was better. My parents were like, yeah, we want English to be your first language because that is the harder language. And I get that because it's so irregular.
Right.
But now that, of course, as an adult, I'm like, man, I wish I had Japanese like more under my belt because it's such a hard language. There's so much, so many alphabets.
I'm going to be such a nerd, you guys. You just went, I wish. And that's all I hear now. Every time somebody says, I wish. I'm mad at myself for even saying that.
No,
yes.
it's real.
All right. Steph talked about your TikTok. And I have to say, I know I was watching a few of your TikToks, and on one of them, it was like your life, like a day in the life of, and you go to your dressing room and you pick a tarot card.
Yeah. Ooh, those are so pretty. They're round.
I have had these tarot cards since I was 20.
She's not 20 anymore, listeners, just to let you know. No.
Well past. If you could see my office, there's like, an altar and my runes and my tarot cards and all.
She's very woo-woo.
I'm very woo-woo.
Oh, I love it.
My husband came home last night and I was sitting in the breezeway with candles, and he's like, I don't want to ask. I go, it's the full moon. I have things to do.
Duh, hello.
So, anyway, but I want to talk a little about that because for me, I find all the woo-woo stuff, as much as it seems like it's out there, to me, it's super grounding. It makes you go inside. It's not about predicting your future. It's about connecting with yourself in this moment and listening to yourself and going inward, which is where, like, we just saw that movie, The Jesus Revolution.
I've not even heard of this movie.
Oh, it's a true story about, like, in the 60s and 70s, this really hippie movement that happened, and it was called the Jesus Movement. And it's a true story, and the people who started it are actually still out in California and have their thing. But it was sort of, their message was, religion isn't supposed to be dogma. Religion is supposed to be the vessel through which you find your own spirituality and your own voice within. And how they were sort of rebelling against what the church had become. Anyway, it opened up this whole conversation. And then when I started doing your research and I saw you do this, I thought, all right,
yes,
I think we just need to pick a card together right now.
Oh my gosh.
All right. Okay. I'm going to shuffle. You tell me when to stop. And when you say stop, I'm going to pick the top card, and that's going to be your card. And then we'll do it for you too, Steph.
Do we send energies or anything like that?
You can
I'm doing that.
A very specific question. You can just look for guidance on something that you're curious about. But this one's for you, Kennedy. So just tell me when you want me to stop.
Stop.
Okay. Top card. 9 of Cups.
Ooh.
Okay.
Explain, please.
We'll explain. So cups, right? Cups are the water. It's the symbol of water. It's the emotional self. So if we're doing chakras, it's chakra 2, which is your emotional center, release of control, going with the flow.
With my deck, the 9 of Cups is reward, like the cat that got the cream, reward after hard work.
Okay, so here's what it is.
Okay.
9 of Cups, wishes made and received.
Are you wishes?
Baby.
Are you effing kidding me?
Yep. Happiness, positive, expansive feelings all around you.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's a good one. Okay,
So-
I'm closing my eyes.
Is there a wish that's been coming true for you?
Oh yeah, this whole freaking show.
Ah.
So you're reaping the cream of all that.
Yeah.
Cream from the cow.
Full circle. Full circle.
Oh my gosh. I hope that's the clip we show. Yes, that is the clip that might have to be shown because it started from like your female organs and came all the way. Okay, I'm now sending out some thoughts.
Okay. Okay, hold on. Okay, go ahead. Send out your thought.
I'm
Tell me
doing
when
it.
to stop.
Now, stop.
Okay, top card, 8 of Swords.
Okay.
Okay.
Your thought can be for someone else. Yes? Is that okay?
It can be, but it's mostly it's about your own inner life.
Oh.
But that's okay.
Okay, well, let's see what this one reads.
Swords is air. Air can be unstable a little bit, but it's also inspiration. It's about going into your inner world and self-reflecting. Okay.
Okay.
So
Okay.
here, Eight of Swords, thinking that you are boxed in, you're approaching something too directly. Be like the crows of folklore. They're able to laugh at human affairs. You are not boxed in. Think outside the box.
Okay.
That makes sense.
That's it's totally applicable. Absolutely. Yeah.
All right. Should I do one for me?
Yes.
I could do this all day.
I know. I love these things. All right, hold on.
She's shuffling. She's shuffling.
I don't really have it. Okay, I know. Yeah.
She's just rocking back and forth. Her dimple comes out every now and then. Listeners, okay, what do you got?
Seven of Swords.
Ooh, honey.
One for you. Strategy. Guilt. I don't like mine. Predator, prey. Planning a way in. Yeah, that makes sense for.
Oh no, that totally makes sense. Yeah.
For what I was thinking about, it does kind of make sense. I need a strategy. I need to plan for what I need to do.
Was there a strategy when you went into this audition? Did your agents tell you what you were auditioning for? Because I know you're actor, singer, dancer, and not necessarily puppeteer. Like, I don't even know if that was in your lexicon as an actor. So did you know you were auditioning for Milky White, or were you going in for the sort of general audition of Into the Woods, and then this was introduced to you?
So I actually did an audition.
Spoiler.
So I know James Ortiz from a couple of other different projects. I workshopped some new pieces with his theater group, Strange Men Company.
Our puppet designer, everybody. He's the puppet designer for Into the Woods.
And none of the projects that we worked on were involved puppets, even though some of his other works, I mean, he's always been a savant with puppetry, but they were kind of physical theater, creating, how do we use our bodies to create a cottage or a monster, like that kind of storytelling. Literally, I think a year ago right now, this is, I think like this week, last year, I was in Portland and he DM'd me on Instagram and was like, hey, by the way, are you doing anything in May? And I was like, no, I think I get back to the city in April. What's up? He was like, I think I'm going to recommend you for a project. And then my agents got an offer 3 weeks later. And he was like, yeah, you could probably do puppet stuff, right? And I was like, I don't know. So,
oh my God,
that was the extent of my preparation for this whole journey.
Again, that goes back to something that was meant to be. No stories are ever the same, but when I hear things like that just kind of all fall into place, that is a divine, this was supposed to happen exactly this way. And then your marriage between you and Milky White, I mean, it really does seem like this is an artistry or a craft that you've been working on for years and years.
Did you take classes in puppetry? Did you just jump in and start playing?
So City Center, our rehearsal process was
a blink.
Severely truncated, to put it mildly. And in anticipation of that, because James and I were already friends, I feel like I'm allowed to say this now. He was like, hey, so we're going to have a couple days to figure out this entire thing. So what if I just come over to your apartment with the cow puppet and we can figure out there? So he came up to Washington Heights to my apartment, brought the cow into my living room, and we just kind of looked at it and then spent an hour or two figuring it out, because it's not a rigid, structured form of puppetry like marionettes or bunraku, where there is a set vocabulary that you have to learn. It's no, he made this unique puppet. There's a handle on the head, there's a handle on the butt, the legs swing, and the mouth opens. Knowing those mechanics, how can we build a vocabulary for this cow? So we kind of approached it together from the ground up, which was very useful because it wasn't like I was getting thrown into an already established thing, if that makes sense.
Right. So you may not speak fluent Japanese, but honey, you speak fluent Milky White. You created the language. If you all haven't seen the play, you in your mind you envision the cow, but you have to understand that this cow is built in such a way, she's very sturdy because of the way Kennedy moves her and the way she's thrown away around throughout the play. But it really looks like she's made out of piping and cardboard and paper mache, and she's purposefully made to look like she's about to fall apart at any moment of the show. But her eyes are these, true to say, like black jewels that have been glazed over. So she looks like she's always crying.
Yeah.
Her ears are floppy, almost like a puppy, which I think was intentional because she has so much affectation of being like a pet dog. But these long straight legs that you are able to make so much life out of. She gallops, she, pets Jack's hand at one point. Like every part of this animal has got characteristics that express feeling, or it's a marvel. So when you met her, did you go, oh my gosh, this is so exciting? Or did you go, oh my gosh, this is so overwhelming?
I think definitely more of the former. I think I was like, oh my gosh, James, this looks so cool. Like, how do we figure this stuff out? And I think what you said about her being dog or puppy-like is really accurate, because we pretty quickly discovered, I think when we were still in my living room, that cows are not interesting to watch. They sit around all day and don't do anything. So we did model a lot of her physical life after dogs and cats to an extent, because they are more active and recognizable, and also they help to endear the audience to the character and the relationship between Jack and Milky White, so that people see their pet in Milky White, and so they understand the stakes of Jack selling her and them getting separated and reunited.
I have two technical questions. How much does she weigh, and how do you open her mouth? Is there like a little trigger on the handle on the head or something?
Yeah, so the mouth opens because they're on the head of the cow. There's a handle, and underneath the handle is just a pull lever that will open the mouth, and then letting go closes it, because it's attached to an elastic string. So it snaps back into place. And what was the first question?
How much does she weigh?
The weight of her.
Okay, so I'm not sure, because she's gone through so many iterations. First of all, this is the second cow that we have had, because the original cow that was at City Center and the first few months at Broadway, she didn't make it, and it's not her fault, because she was only made to last 2 weeks. We didn't know that this show was going to just keep going and going. So James built Milky White 2.0. But the other thing is that James, again, with only a 2-week show, he didn't build blueprints for the cow, because there was no anticipation of having to build another one ever again. So 2.0 is very similar to OG Milky, but definitely shape and size differences. And then over the course of the run, she will get shellacked to enforce some of the paper mache that peels off, and that adds weight and extra ties and things. So I'm not sure where she's at now, but I've been thinking for tour, I bought one of those weight handles.
Oh, like a luggage weight handle? Yeah.
I think I'm just gonna bring it in to see how much she weighs. I think it's somewhere between like maybe 15 and 20 pounds.
And that's a lot. That's a lot for 8 shows a week, and the repetition and the handles and the levers. So what does body care look like for you?
That's a great question. So when we were in New York, another aspect of having only built the cow for 2 weeks was we created the blocking and the movement for the puppetry with a 2-week cap in mind, and really I was not thinking about
how do I sustain this for a year?
Yeah,
exactly.
Keep over and over, night after night.
So I kind of found that out the hard way. I got a couple of injuries to my wrists and my elbows and my neck, and was working with Mark Lusk and his physical therapy office, who were phenomenal in New York, and really helped me understand how to use my body in a safer way and how to keep my body prepared. Basically, between the end of Broadway and the beginning of tour, I was continuing to go into physical therapy, and the goal was just, okay, how do we get you ready for the road and build your endurance and establish some sort of maintenance? So I've got lots of fun little physical therapy toys and warm-ups and cool downs to do that have really helped.
As an actor and a singer and a dancer, you know the discipline of doing like 8 shows a week and what that looks like. Also, how does it feel to know that you have that vocabulary and those skills, and throughout the show, there's not a word spoken? What does your head sound like during the show? Are you thinking Milky White thoughts? So I've heard you say before, you know, Milky White and I are one and the same. I don't know where she begins and I end. What does it sound like in your head?
As we know, Milky White was written to be a prop and is written as such in the script. So one of the first things that James and I sat down with in the rehearsal room was tracking the places in the script where Milky White is mentioned as a prop and connecting those to figure out what, if we were to transform her into a character in the show, what her narrative arc is. And so, yes, she is a cow and like kind of a puppy, and while those things are more related to her physical life, I think that as a character, I think she has more complex human emotions. And
well, you've certainly brought that to it for sure.
Oh, well, thank you. We established that for the most part, she doesn't understand a lot of the language in the show that other people are saying, with 2 exceptions. One is Jack, who she is, because they're so close and so attuned to each other, that without necessarily knowing verbatim what his words are, intuiting everything that he says and being able to react to it, almost kind of like twin synchronicity, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then the second thing is something that James came up with that I really love, that this idea of magical moments of understanding, where they are most useful in the show. So one of those is when Jack first says, into the woods to sell a friend. For Milky White to have that big reaction, because she knows exactly what is being said about her. You say no one would have given him more for that creature, at least they'll have some food. And having the realization that you are the reason for your best friend's suffering, and that your self-worth is 5 millions, was helpful in justifying, because then, you know, the baker has to say, look at her, she's crying. So like to connect those dots to get to that place. So just moments like that were really fun to figure out, and I think useful in turning her from a prop to a character.
Do you have a dog?
I don't. I had a dog when we first moved to the States. My parents said, because obviously we did not want to move, but they were like, there's so much space in America, you can have a dog if you agree to move, because we'll have a yard. So we got a dog who has since passed. And then I had a cat in New York who actually passed away when we were in tech at City Center.
I'm sorry.
That's horrible.
He lived a long and full life, but I've had a dog and a cat, and so
if you relate to animals, you know, if you've had pets and you grew up with them, I mean, I have a house full of dogs, and they completely understand your emotional state, probably better than we ourselves do most of the time. Really respond not to the words, but to the energy that you give back to them. And that's what it feels like with Milky White. Like, he may not understand the words, but he's so in tune, as I think animals really are. And loves his Jack so much that he feels what Jack feels. And I really believe animals are capable of that more than humans most of the time.
Yeah, I agree. Totally.
Did you ever anticipate this response to your performance and the attachment to Milky White that all audience, I mean, there hasn't been one audience that's like, no, kind of lukewarm. Your character wins them over within the first 30 seconds of the play. It's really magical. It's masterful, but it's now just like expected where you go, oh, well, then you're a heartless dead human if you don't feel for this character. Do you know what I mean? And there hasn't been one night. Did you ever foresee this sort of reaction?
No. I feel almost embarrassed saying it now, but like Into the Woods has always been one of my favorite musicals of all time. Just I think there's so many beautiful universal messages that speak to you no matter where you are in life. And I've always wanted to do it. So when I got cast and I was telling all my friends and they're like, who are you playing? And I'm like, I'm playing Milky White. We would all just like burst out laughing because that's not a part. And so it was just kind of like, oh, I'm going to be so happy to be in this show, you know, kind of like get to be like with all these celebrities that I love and respect and basically be a glorified prop, which
You're not a
is
glorified
still the
No,
case.
no,
But
it is not. It is
not
you
at
have
all. It's a
redefined
full-fledged
Kennedy.
character.
You've redefined it. So if your love for Into the Woods was one thing, you are now the quintessential, I guarantee you, from this moment on, this play will never be done the way it
Yep.
was done before. You are now the benchmark for how Milky White will forever, I guarantee you, will forever be played. To have what used to be a cardboard cutout just being carried around or whatever, not anymore.
Speaking of when you were calling people and telling them that you're going to be the cow, I saw on your TikTok you telling your siblings. That was the
Oh, yeah.
sweetest. Their reaction. He videotaped the reaction of his sister and brother when he told them that he was going to be on Broadway. It was so sweet. And you seem really, really close to all of them. Tell me about that. Tell me about what growing up was like for you. Was your house filled with music and a lot of art and theater and all of that sort of stuff? Tell me about your childhood. How'd you all
So,
stay so close?
yes and no. So my brother is 3 years younger than me, and we were always we have a very close relationship. People always thought we were twins because I was like a little small and he was a little tall for his age. So we kind of balanced out, and it didn't help that my mother dressed us identically for way too long. So we've always been really close. I'm actually in his apartment right now because he lives in DC. I'm staying with
Oh, nice.
And my sister, my mother, who's American, moved to Japan with my father. They had babies. They divorced. She remarried an American man who was stationed in Japan. And that was the impetus for moving to the States. And his daughter from a previous marriage. So technically my stepsister she's the same age as me. I'm older by a couple months. And even though we're not blood related, we were 7 years old when our parents got married. So she's just my sister. And the three of us are extremely close. She lives in Salem. So I'll get to see her right after DC. We go to Boston.
Oh, she
So I'm
lives in
excited. I
Salem,
get to go from
Mass.
one sibling to the other. Yeah.
I'm very close to Salem, Mass.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's been there for a couple of years, and we're all very different. I was always the theater kid, but also, you know, and my sister was a varsity cheerleader, and my brother was president of every club and captain of every sports team. But we all had to play piano. My brother played the trumpet and the cello and the drums for a little bit.
Oh, impressive.
And my sister was in chorus with me. So we were always like a very art-oriented family. So even though they don't pursue it professionally, I used to literally quiz them on musical theater trivia just in car rides and things to keep them up to date. So I've trained them well.
You've
And
trained them
speaking
well.
of full circle, bringing it all back, the hub of tarot cards and mysticism is Salem, Mass. I mean, come on, it's where it all
Oh my
starts,
God.
right?
If the two of you are naked dancing under a full moon while we're there, I don't know
Oh.
what I'm going to do.
Kennedy,
I
we
want
need to
nothing
find
more
out
than that.
when the full moon is when you're here in Boston, my friend.
And you'll be part of
Yes.
her coven. It will
Yes,
happen.
it'll be
I'm
me,
ready.
Kennedy. And you know what? I have goats, so we'll go up to the goats with Milky and you. Okay?
Yes.
This is it. This is it.
Yes. Maybe we'll have to sacrifice Milky under the full moon.
Oh, no.
No,
No, this-
Milks.
all right,
It's fine because she comes back to life.
It is true.
That's
It
true.
is
Death
true.
is only temporary.
I
That
have
is
to tell
right.
you, once I went to this he was a Cuban mystic guy. I don't know. He threw coins and shells and read them.
Like a
and
shaman of some kind,
he
maybe?
was, I don't think he was a shaman, but he had a name. I don't know. I don't know how to describe it, but I was literally locked in a closet with this guy. And he had all these statues everywhere, and they were covered in like this a thick kind of blacky thing, and he was smoking a cigar, and I'm allergic to cigars, so I had hives all over my face. My eyes were beet red, and I'm stuck in a closet with this guy, and he's throwing the coins, and he's speaking in some language, and he's writing stuff down, and I go, "Excuse me, what's all over your statues?" And he's like, "Blood and honey," and then he throws the coins, and I'm like, "Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god." So we go. He's literally in there with me for like 40 minutes. And I'm having a panic attack, and he's telling me all this stuff and this and that. Some of it was pretty awesome. And then he goes, "Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to sacrifice a chicken." And I go, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa. Right here, right now, you're going to kill a chicken?" And he goes, "Yeah." I go, "No, no, no. You're right in front of me. You're going to kill this chicken." And now I'm like, "This is where all the blood and honey came from.
Yeah,
Let me
yeah.
out of the closet."
Yep, let her
So
out.
I was like, "This is not going to happen. You need to pick up those shells, and you need to ask if there's some other sacrifice we can do, because the chicken's life is not worth more than my life." And I went on this whole rant about how the chicken has a soul too. And he was like, "Okay, weirdo." Now I'm the crazy person.
Yeah, crazy person. Yeah. What?
Hysterical. I came out of that closet. I was covered in hives. My eyes were beet red. My friend was
Oh
like,
my
"What
gosh.
happened
But you
to in
saved a
there?"
chicken.
I saved a chicken.
Blood and Honey needs to be the name of your biography.
Memoir. Yes. It kind of makes sense, actually. Kennedy, if you could curate what the next 5 years of your life would be, what would that be? What would that look like?
Oh my gosh.
Oh, shoot for the stars, honey. You got the cups. You got the 9 cups. So speak it out.
I'm never good at concrete planning, because I get so I'll find myself getting too specific, and it will put me in a unhealthy brain space. So I think that, like, just the general hope that I have for 5 years in all the different facets of my life would just be growth. I want to continue working, even though this, I keep getting so nervous as the end date of this show approaches. Thankfully, we keep, bringing you to this, but like, okay, like I want to keep working and figuring out what that looks like, and I don't know what it looks like, but we're gonna, really put lots of energy towards that, and with my relationships, growing those and deepening those.
In a yoga perspective, they say that you should be extremely clear on you should be able to say specifics on what you want. The problem is sometimes we don't actually really truly know what we want. So what they say in yoga is be super specific, be really specific, and write it down. But then you have to practice non-attachment. So you literally have to write it down, see it so clearly, be absolutely clear on where you want to land in 5 years, picture it, draw a picture of it, write it down, specifics, but then non-attachment, you have to let it wash
That's
away.
hard for an artist.
Yeah.
Now this is not a disparaging comment, but I call those that are not in the field of the arts or creativity muggles, because it's just a different way of thinking, right? We as artists believe in that which does not exist. And we believe in it so hard that we spend our entire life thinking that the next audition will be a reality by getting the part, or the next performance will be. It's always living in sort of, healthy or not, and I can only speak for myself, but I've had so many conversations with other artists that when we specify, because I hear what Kennedy's saying, when you specify exactly what you want, then there is an expectation that is attached to that. And when that expectation doesn't live up to, or I should say that experience doesn't live up to your expectation, then there is a disappointment to that. It just puts so much worth and weight onto the experience that then just releasing it seems, I don't know, counterintuitive somehow.
But I think that's the practice. The practice is to be able to see it so clearly in your mind's eye. And then the practice is the non-attachment. Like I just let it go. And what's that wonderful? There's a wonderful saying that says your destiny is written on the inside of your third eye. And if you quiet your mind, you'll be able to read it. So what they say is, it's there, it's in existence on some plane, but you don't have any control over when it'll be there and how you're going to get there, but you just have to believe, have the faith, and then allow it to be free, and it'll come to you at some point. That's
something
sort
about
of the philosophy.
The theater industry that I think makes that so challenging for me is discovering how little of it is
in your control,
merit based, and within your control.
Right.
Oh my
and
goodness.
The idea of if you work hard, you will be rewarded is sadly not the case for
it's
so
not
many
the tested
people.
truth in our industry. It's not.
Yeah. So I think that I quit the business like 3 different times just because I would place these goals of like, okay, by the time I am this age, I will have this credit, and then I'll be in this point in my career, and placing those. I guess I'm because artists are so sensitive and so desperate to be validated. I think that like not meeting these goals was so unhealthy for me, and it's very interesting how it worked out, where eventually I was like, you know what, I have to be an actor, because telling stories and communicating with communing with other artists and audiences is the most special and important thing in my life. And even if I'm not successful in the way that is perceived by like being on Broadway, or having health insurance by working consistently every single year, like I have to be okay with that. And once I released that, James Ortiz DMs me on Instagram, and
But that's the release. That's the non-attachment. You're not doing it for the outcome. You're doing it for the love and the joy and the practice and serving through what you love. And that's the non-attachment. So it's okay to see the vision and to know the goal and to say it's going to get there, but then you release it, and you don't do it for that reason. You do it with non-attachment to the end goal, and just to be in the now, serving and doing what you love.
Yeah. And I also think there's something important to be said about the power of community, particularly in the theater industry. And I think that it's a myth, this idea that like we're all running our own race and we're all by ourselves. When I joined this company, and every iteration of casting, everyone is so kind and loving and generous and supportive, and everyone lifts each other up, and it's so special. And it helped me realize that, again, everybody in New York City is talented, but the people that I see on Broadway are the kind ones, are the ones with patience and generosity to give. And I think that there's something to be said about how far that goes in helping your own success in the different metrics that you measure that.
All right, we've arrived at the 5 questions, but just before, a word from our sponsors. Kennedy, if I were to call your family and say that you had been arrested, what would they assume that you have done to get yourself in jail?
Oh, I hate breaking rules. Oh, okay. If I did something wrong, probably like, well, I have this huge anxiety phobia of being trapped in a place that is closing. So I could see myself, if like the lights are turning off and they're locking the doors, like Kool-Aid Manning through the wall. So maybe like, destruction of property. if that counts.
Yep,
Okay.
sure does. Okay.
If you could live in another era, what era would it be?
Well, as a biracial gay man, I don't know. Ooh, maybe like maybe some like really far back in time, like so that my knowledge of the future and technology would overtop any biases towards me, and I could be treated as a king or a god or a
You'd be like
seer.
Nostradamus. Like
Ooh,
Nostradamus.
yeah, maybe like ancient Greece.
You'd be the biracial gay Nostradamus.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I think we found the title of the episode. Okay. Is there anything in your closet, a garment, a piece of jewelry that you will never get rid of because it holds so many memories for you?
Ooh, my stepfather's bathrobe. He passed away a couple years ago, and I kept his robe, and it weirdly still kind of, I don't know if it's like real enough, but it kind of smells like him. So I will. It's gross. It's a little ratty, but I will not get rid of that.
Nice.
Tell me your first childhood crush.
Ooh.
New question, Mary Lee. Throwing it in.
Mm.
New question.
Every now and then, mix it up.
Who did I have a crush on first?
Mine was Danny Kaye.
Oh, a celebrity.
Doesn't have to be, but that was who I remember standing in front of the TV, like in love with Danny Kaye.
Mine was stupid Ricky Schroeder from Silver Spoons. And he's now turned out to be something I would not have a crush on. But back in the day, y'all, cute as a button.
I really had a crush on Devon Sawa in Casper.
Oh, I love you so much right now.
I thought he was the cutest when Casper turned into a real boy, and it's Devon Sawa. I was like, yeah.
You all, we really did choose these sweet-faced, non-threatening humans to have our first crushes on. There was nothing like edgy or dangerous about any of our choices.
No.
I love that about us. All right, final question. If you were a nail polish, what color would it be, and what's the cheeky little name of that nail polish?
Ooh. Okay, I would want it to be some sort of really like deep blue with a kind of like opalescent shimmer on it. What would the name be? Blew me away.
Yes. Oh, I love
Good job.
Thank you so much for your time. And now, here's what struck a chord with us.
Cute as a button.
Come on now. Yeah, I would put money on. I probably would have had a crush on Kennedy when I was growing up. Kind, earnest, open, thoughtful, and really what he does, like he mentioned before, it used to just be a prop, like a two-dimensional prop. And what he has reinvented and the gift that he's giving the audiences for what he's bringing with Milky White is so special.
And it makes the show even more magical.
Yes.
It really does.
Yes.
It just brings that whole extra touch of humor and magic and all of it. It's just adorable.
And it surfaces the way Lear directed it. You know, like we are not just, the curtain doesn't go up and we're players immediately in the story. We are people that then become actors or storytellers. And the same thing with him and Milky White. He's not trying to hide himself. The audience absolutely sees the device, but he ingratiates himself with the audience right away. And it's never like a wink and a nudge, like, oh, this is kind of jokey. No. It's all done in beautiful truth and skill. But we know that you know that we know that you know. And
he's the birds too, right? Doesn't he come out as the birds, peck the eyes out?
No, he's not the birds.
He's not the bird.
But he is one of the giant's foot. Also, another puppeteer is Cinderella's father, who plays it's Josh Breckenridge, who's the actor, who is the birds and the other giant's foot.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Or boot, however they want to.
Amazing too. When they do the feet and it's tapping while she's waiting. I mean, it's just
when she dies
so
and those
genius.
boots go up and they kind of like bounce a little bit.
It's so great.
The life that they bring. because
wait
they're
to
not.
see it again when it's in Boston.
I know.
Why?
I
Because
know.
2 times isn't enough.
No, never.
Mm-mm.
Never enough. You need to see it at least for 3 minutes gone. I also just love, have you ever been to Japan?
No. Mm-mm.
I've been lucky enough to go 4 times.
Really? I didn't know that.
The first time was in high school. My sister was working at Tokyo Disneyland. She was Snow White, Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty, and Mary Poppins.
Fun.
And so I went, how nerdy am I, with my Spanish teacher, Ms. McCoy, Maureen McCoy. My Spanish teacher and I flew to Japan over Christmas break to spend Christmas there. And then the second time, because of my sister's stay, an independent producer reached out and asked the Disney casting if they had American gals to dress as cheerleaders for a car show. And so my sister went, well, my sister can also come with. So she and I went wearing our high school cheerleading outfits. I think it was either GMC or Ford or something. And we did a car show. And then
And did you get to like take time and go all around and
we
do
did. And
sightseeing?
because
That's so
she was
cool.
there for about a year, she became pretty familiar. And we would take the bullet train, which is the Shinkansen. I don't know where the emphasis is on that word. But we take the bullet train and go to different places, Kyoto. And then I went twice with big bands, one of which was a month-long sort of city tour throughout Japan with Les Brown and his Band of Renown, which was an old swing band.
Fun.
And at the time, swing music was like all the rage with young people. And so these 80-year-old players, swing,
Yeah.
orchestral players,
Yeah.
young girls with signs would be following and running after our bus. It was
so
so
funny.
wonderful and bizarre, but yeah, it's a beautiful country.
It seems like a very polite culture.
It is.
Rule.
No, I
driven
haven't been
culture.
there. Disclaimer, I haven't been there in like 20 some years, but it still felt very patriarchal, right?
Mhm, mhm.
There was, most women were still at home, making beautiful meals. We even had the opportunity with one of these tours that we would stay with friends in their homes in like suburban villages. And it was really beautiful to see that life as opposed to just stay in hotels, which were mostly Americanized anyway.
Mhm, mhm.
But to be there and just the generosity and the gift giving and the ritual of preparing meals or tea or your bed,
Mhm.
the care with which they input everything is really special.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you need to go because you have to be backstage soon enough.
I have to do a thing in this theater. Okay, I do again have to just speak a little bit. We were in Buffalo. We're now in DC. When this airs, I believe we'll be in Boston.
Probably.
And I've not been to the Colonial Theater, but the Shays Theater in Buffalo sat 3,300 people. It was built in 1929, ornate, gorgeous movie house. And it was overwhelming how lovely it was. And now we have the privilege of being at the Opera House at the Kennedy Center, which
Yeah.
is where the Kennedy Center Awards takes place. So it's just all red velvet and gold and crystal lighting fixtures. It's really grand and beautiful.
I would like to tell our listeners what my dream is, what I think you and I should do, our TV show.
Okay.
You want to know what my idea for our TV show is? We're going to copyright it right here, right now.
Okay, here
I
we
think
go.
it should be stages on stages. And I think you and I should go around to the old, incredible theaters all across the country and go in and talk about the history of that theater and who danced and sang on that stage and what spirits have moved through here. And if there's like stories of it being haunted and this and that, would that not be the best TV show? Stages on stages.
It would be really very, very cool.
How much fun
Yeah.
would we have?
Look, if you can have
copyrighted.
American Pickers and you can have,
Yeah.
Antique Roadshow, this is a version of that, but talking about the history
Yeah.
of these glorious theaters. I think that's a great idea.
I know. And
I
and
wish you
could
would
be
have,
the hosts.
just checked with me before we told our listening public, but
Well,
you
listen,
seem to act first and then
you're
talk
in.
later.
You're in and you don't have an option. And if it's a TV show, you're going to want to be in. So what's your problem?
It's very true. All right, send me the contract. I'm in.
I don't have any producers or a TV channel or anything. It's just my idea.
Well, I like it. I like it a lot. I like you a lot. I love you a lot.
I love you too. I miss you.
I miss you too. Also, I want to tell everybody that Seb and I have had the greatest time here in Boston. We won't be performing the next week, though, and this was a sort of understood agreement before we signed on to this special engagement, because it was a layoff week, but the show sold so well in Boston that they added a second week of performances. So sadly, Seb and I won't be there, but it was a vacation that we had already planned with the little one. So please enjoy our glorious understudies. It's going to be Jason Forbach playing the baker and Simone Rose as the baker's wife. So they're fabulous. They both have played the roles before. They're so different and interesting. It'll be really wonderful to hear how the story and the storytelling is different because of their performances. I love it when understudies go on. I just love it. It's a whole different energy. Yeah, real fun. Oh, I just looked at my clock at 11:11. Everybody, I don't care where you are. Make a wish.
Make a wish. I made mine.
I made mine.
It's going to come true. It's already came true.
I know.
It's already out there. All right. I love you. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Stages podcast is produced by Stephanie J. Block and Mary Lee Fairbanks in association with iHeartRadio. It can be heard on the iHeartRadio podcast and iHeartRadio Broadway or wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Please join our cast by signing up at stagespodcast.net, listening, sharing, and leaving a 5-star review. It all makes such a difference in getting the word out. Thanks for listening, and we will see you again soon.